All right, so we're going to start a new unit, and it's a really kind of new unit because we're going to talk about statistics, and you really haven't hit a lot of statistics lately in your mathematics class, so we're going to break some stuff down, okay? First, I want to talk about just some vocabulary words today. We're not going to put any math to it. We're just going to talk about words and what they mean, okay? So the first thing we're going to talk about is discrete and continuous random variables, all right? So the first word I want to talk about is, what is a random variable? A random variable are variables that have their values determined by a probability experiment. Or we could say it's the result of a chance event that you can measure or count, okay? So the random variable is what are you asking to find, okay? It's not asking for what is it. It wants to know basically what is the subject of this question. So like when you have your English questions and it gives you like this paragraph and it's like, what's the subject of this paragraph? That's basically what you're doing when I'm asking you what is the random variable, okay? Now, there are two types of random variables that we're going to see. One is going to be a discrete random variable. It's a random variable that has a finite number of values. Basically what that means is you can count your outcomes, okay? Your outcomes are countable. All right, that means I can count them like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so example, I want to flip a coin six times. How many tails could we get? You can count how many times when you flip that coin and it gives you a tail. You can count it. So that makes it a discrete random variable because it is countable. We're going to go over some keywords in a minute too that helps you know what's countable and what's not, okay? All right. Continuous random variable. A continuous random variable is a random variable that has an infinite number of values. It means that the numbers just keep going on and on and on. The one example I like to give, because you really don't think about it, I didn't actually think about it until I started teaching statistics as a high school teacher, that if you think about it, how many numbers are between the numbers 1 and 2? I mean, if you think about it, there are so many. Like if you really think about it, okay? There are so many numbers between the whole numbers of 1 and 2. Because you could say 1.9, 1.99, 1.99999, 1.99999. Like I can keep going. There are so many numbers between each whole number that it is continuous and you cannot count how many numbers are between those two numbers, okay? Just like we don't know where the number system ends. It keeps going on and on. It's like the song that never ends from Lamb Chop. I won't sing it because it will be in your head. It's already in my head right now. Okay? So it's just continuous to something that you can't count. Okay? It's just so many numbers. And it's going to be a lot of things that you never really thought about that could be continuous. Like the measure of the height of a person in your class. Yeah, you'll say, okay, I say, yeah, I'm 5'6". I'm not exactly 5'6". I'm probably like 5'6" and some whatever, okay? I'm not exactly at 5 feet 6 inches, okay? There's probably, if I really narrowed it down, I'm probably a little bit more than that, okay? Because you can't measure height. Also, another thing you can't measure is your age, all right? Yeah, I'm 34, but technically I'm 34 and 11 months. You know, so we always round things up in society, but actually they're kind of very continuous, okay? So let's try, and we'll discuss some of these, and I'm going to give you the key words here that you need to look for when you're looking to determine if it's discrete or continuous, okay? So time left on a parking meter, all right? Yeah, I'll say you've got 15 minutes left or on the timer, but you rounded it up. Like when you're looking at the bell to ring and I'm like, all right, you got a minute left. Well, you might not have a minute left. You could have like 50 seconds left, but I rounded it up to a minute instead of like looking at a seconds clock. Okay. So time is very continuous. Okay. But like I said, in society, we round a lot of stuff. So it doesn't sound continuous. But if you break it down, time left on a parking meter, it is a continuous random variable because there are so many numbers on time we can't count it. So time is a key word for continuous. Okay? The number of bats broken by a baseball team in a season. Well, bats baseball bats. Those are whole objects, right? We can't say you're not going to go hit with half a bat, are you? You're always going to hit with a whole bat. So you can count that. So normally when it says number of, usually when it says the number of something, that is going to be discrete because I can count that. I can count how many bats a baseball team goes through the season, okay? You can count them because they're physical and they're like a whole object, okay? Number of fish in a pond. Are you going to have half a fish in a pond? I hope not. It'd be kind of a little weird. But you can't have half a fish. You can't have a quarter of a fish. A fish is a whole object that I can physically count. So therefore, it is discrete also. And you see how it says number of? That is discrete. Okay? Now, total pounds of a fish caught on a fishing trip. Well, we're going to relate it to human weight, okay? So my weight, okay? I round it all the time. And it ain't because I'm embarrassed by it. You know, I don't really care. But I would say I'm 170 pounds. Well, you're probably not exactly 170 pounds. You're probably like 170 pounds and some ounces or some whatever, okay? But we round it because you ain't going to walk around saying, I'm 170.15 ounce. I mean, you're not going to say that, okay? So you round it and we make it sound discrete, but it's actually not. Weight is actually not discrete. Weight, so this is about weight. Weight is actually continuous, okay? All right, number of gumballs in a vending machine. Well, it'd be really kind of gross if you got a half a gumball. I would be analyzing that gumball machine like, you took a bite out of that and then put it back. So, number of gumballs in a vending machine. We can count that, right? I can open that gumball machine. I can take those gumballs out and I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so gumballs is also going to be discrete. And you see how it says number of, keyword. All right, time spent by a physician examining a patient. So time, we've already established time is continuous. Okay, so this is a continuous example. Okay, all right, so that is it for this lesson. Now, your assignment. I want to talk about your assignment, okay, because I want to explain it. So your assignment is going to be a discussion board. So I'm really going to know if you watch this video or not because you can't do your discussion board without watching this video. So your assignment today is there's going to be a discussion board. And I'm going to put my example up there that I'm about to give you. But I want you to create a discrete and continuous random variable example that has to do with something that you like or something to do with you. So don't go Googling stuff because it's really not that hard. Don't overthink it. I overthought it and had to go talk to some people to calm me down with my thoughts. All right, so you have to give a discrete example and a continuous example, okay? So I'll give you mine. My discrete example, I love Sour Patch watermelon. Love them. So I'm going to make my discrete example about it. Now remember, discrete, you have to count it. So it needs to be about something, okay? Like if you like baseball, don't copy the one I used up here, but make it about baseball, okay? So my discrete random example would be, how many Sour Patch watermelon candies can Miss Arthur eat in a day? I could eat a bunch of them. I'm just going to let you guys know. I could eat probably multiple bags. But that would require probably a dentist trip afterwards, and we do not like the dentist over here. They hurt. Now, a continuous one. A continuous one is, remember, something you can't count. So it needs to be about time, speed, height, weight, something like that. Like if you like fishing, how many pounds of fish did you catch that day? Okay. So my continuous is going to be, I have a little bit of a lead foot, you know. So we're going to say, how fast does Miss Arthur drive when she is late? We're not going to answer that question. Okay? Not going to answer that one. But how fast does Miss Arthur drive when she is late? Okay? So that's going to be continuous. All right, so go to Canvas, go to the discussion board, and that is your assignment today. Write a discrete question and then write a continuous example that has to do with something that you like or something about you. Okay, guys? All right, well, that's it for discrete versus random variables today, or discrete versus continuous random variables today.